To so many of us, he was more than just a man. He was the symbol of struggle for justice, equality, and dignity in South Africa and around the globe. His sacrifice was so great that it called upon people everywhere to do what they could on behalf of human progress. Nelson Mandela, villain or hero?
Nelson Mandela was born on July 18, 1918, in a small African village called Mabso. He was named Raleigh Lilaha, which means troublemaker or to pull a branch. And when Nelson turned 9, his father died. After Nelson's dad passed away, his mother decided to send him to live in a neighboring village called Jokintaba, Ilindibo. Jokintaba was the village chief and sent him to school. The school was called Clarksburg Boarding Institute. His teacher gave him the Christian name Nelson. In 1940, 21-year-old Nelson Mandela entered a university called Fort Hare University. This is where he's introduced the segregation between Africans and whites. Nelson Mandela began his studies for a Bachelor of Arts degree at the University College of Fort Hare, but did not complete the degree there as he was expelled in joining a student protest. On his return to his village, the king was furious and said if he didn't return to Fort Hare, he would arrange wives for him and his cousin Justice. They ran away to Johannesburg instead, arriving there in 1941. There he worked as a mine security officer, and after meeting Walter Sisulu, an estate agent, he was introduced to Lazar Sadelsky. He then did his articles through a firm of attorneys, Witkin, Elderman, and Sadelsky. Nelson Mandela was increasingly politically involved in 1942. He joined the African National Congress in 1944 when he helped to form the ANC Youth League. In 1944, he also married Walter Sisulu's cousin, Evelyn Mace, a nurse. They had 2 sons, Madiba Thembiko, also known as Thembi, and 2 daughters, both called Makazivi, the first of whom died in infancy. He and his wife divorced in 1958. Nelson Mandela rose through the ranks of the ANC-YL, and through its efforts, the ANC developed a more radical mass-based policy, the Program of Action in 1949. Nelson Mandela was on the roof of the Colvard House in 1953. In 1952, he was chosen as the National Volunteer-in-Chief of the Defiance Campaign with Malvi Kachakila as his deputy. This campaign of civil rights against 6 unjust laws was a joint program between the ANC and the South African Indian Congress. He and 19 others were charged under the Suppression of Communism Act for their part in the campaign and sentenced to 9 months hard labor, suspended for 2 years. A 2-year diploma in law on top of his BA allowed Nelson Mandela to practice law, and in August 1952, he and Oliver Tambo established South Africa's first black law firm, Mandela and Tambo. At the end of 1952, he was banned for the first time. As a restricted person, he was only permitted to watch in secret as the Freedom Charter was adopted in Kliptown on 26 June 1955.
In the late 1950s, Mandela became convinced that guerrilla warfare was the way to go. He studied works of other communists. On December 16, 1961, he led the bombing of 57 different sites across South Africa. Then he went abroad to collect money, weapons, and training for war. Mandela wished to replace apartheid with a social state. He was a member of South African Communist Party. He advocated a charter which called for the nationality of all industry. He was against private land ownership. Mandela was caught traveling illegally. He was charged for his involvement in the MK. He admitted most of the charges. The life was spared because of foreign governments. These are proof that Nelson Mandela was a communist, not a hero.
Nelson Mandela was a hero, but he was framed as a communist and all those horrible things. In the late 1950s, People have said that Nelson Mandela studied guerrilla warfare and that he thought that was the way to go. People said he studied the works of other communists, such as Mao and Che. I believe this is not true because I believe Nelson Mandela was framed. Nelson Mandela was a really good man. Every time he ensured that there will be a peaceful protest, the government replied with a savage attack. The Africans couldn't handle these savage attacks and many were killed. He had to do something. He had to defend himself. Like many other people, Nelson Mandela did defend himself. Martin Luther King and the freedom fighters defended themselves. The patriots from the Revolutionary War defended themselves. And they were framed as bad people in that time. But it all turned out well. So did Nelson Mandela. In conclusion, Nelson Mandela may have made mistakes as well as the apartheid government, but they reconciled in the end.
Nelson Mandela got out of jail in 1991, became the president in 1994, and as a result was revered throughout
the world. Hello guys. Let's cut. Boarding institute. His teacher did not complete the degree there as he was expelled for joining in the student protest. Nelson Mandela. Oh, wait. Cut! Although Nelson Mandela. Oh, cut.